Yo, I want to make a quick video on SASI. This is your standard 1 million float manipulated stock. Um, I made two recent videos. In that video dump I kind of did a couple days ago, we saw both those things in this chart. Let's go over it. Pretty straightforward. Paid 14 cents a share. Luckily, had some shares, and uh, pretty much every trade was either small green or big green. So we'll see how the chart played out. Very simple. So manipulated charts, right? You get a high day clear out on really big volume. Now I shorted this. I was actually short this, but you have to understand manipulated tickers. Whenever you give a very obvious retail pattern, there's always a chance that, and it doesn't happen all the time, but there's always a chance that very obvious retail pattern, high day clear out, clears out the pre-market highs, comes back down to support, um, gets manipulated. So one of the videos I made about was about how quick pullbacks from high day can be very bullish, and that's because when you get when you get this pullback, uh, what actually happens is you swipe support, so you swipe all the longs who are risking the support level, right? And you get all this empty space up here. And what's really interesting is I started using Bookmap recently, which if you don't know what that is, it just shows you all the orders on the book, and it pretty much confirms what I thought to be true was when these pullbacks happen, there's essentially no orders on the ask between, there's always going to be some at like a half hour level, like 6.5, but between about 6.1 all the way up to all the way up to high day, really, there's some at 7, but 6.1 to 7, there's almost no orders on the book. So what happens when you get these quick pullbacks is that you bait shorts, you get in longs, and I see this soak, and it should just continue to the downside. If this is going to be weak, it should give a couple weak bounces. But um, since there's no orders on the book, it's very easy for whoever's rigging this to just market order through the thin order book. There's almost no, I saw this on the book map, there's almost no orders. Some at 6.5, I got taken out right away. Some at 7, I got taken out right away. But overall, it's very easy for them to just teleport this straight up. Um, any long who was in this got shaken out, and tons of shorts are in. So that's how the manip works. When I saw that, um, I covered a little bit here, and then I actually just moved my wrist to break even, and it ended up just going straight up. So the thing about me is I don't really like guessing high days, right? I don't like guessing this candle. I don't like guessing this candle. I don't, for the most part, I don't just short into new high days hoping that one's going to work. I like to see some type of structure that lets me know, hey, um, this is some type of long trap structure. Maybe it's some type of flag or some type of soak that longs would think is really aggressive, really bullish, especially if a stock's been squeezing. They're going to think it's strong. Um, and funny enough, we get the same pattern back to back. You get the quick dump, shorts chase, get another squeeze, right? So I wasn't even short this structure. Definitely wasn't short down here. Wasn't long either. So I just saw this happen. And here's a new high days. And like I said, I'm not really guessing high days. Not really how I trade. But then I made another video, which I think anyone who's been trading a decent amount of time would inherently understand about. I call it massive soak in a hidden seller, right? So usually what happens, you break support, just like in that video, and then you get a big volume push, right? And what I learned about these about big volume push is that these could squeeze the high day, but they need to happen right away. They cannot. If you get a low volume pullback like this, if you get a massive manipulated like reclaim, and then you get this low volume pullback, just baits retail longs into thinking the next leg's gonna come up. So you can kind of see right here. Um, you have a clean. How do I do this? You have like a very clean retail little flag pennant, whatever you call it, whatever. Retail thinks this is very bullish, right? You got higher lows. Oh, they're supporting the stock. You got lower highs. You got this trend line, and they think, man, once this breaks through this trend line, it's gonna be super bullish. So what happens? It starts to break through that trend line, and a bunch of retail starts buying. And I was calling this out. I didn't take any screenshots of my chats. By the way, Discord information coming this weekend. But the reason this buys is because everyone is just smacking this upper trend line break, right? They just it's a and look at it this way, man. Like this long works because no one's expecting it to work. This long works because no one's expecting it to work. And now you get like the cleanest retail like anyone who draws the trend lines on their chart can draw these trend lines, right? They could see the lower highs, they could see the higher lows, they could see the volume come in. This isn't large cap stocks in a bull market. This ain't Qualamagi, who's one of my heroes, by the way. But this isn't. You can't just apply those patterns to low floats, okay? You can't just apply normal bullish patterns on legit companies and come into the low float space where stuff like this happens. You know what I mean? And expect the cleanest, easiest read of your life to work. So, unsurprisingly, pushes, get two big volume candles. People are just trying to buy. They're just trying to buy down here. And they dump it. And funny enough, we get the same pattern again. they did it back to back. Just how they squeeze shorts back to back. They trapped longs back to back. And yeah, again, like this candle, it could be bullish, but if you looked at my chart of PHIO when I posted on Twitter, like this type of candle has to go, right? If this candle doesn't go and it stalls and this type of stuff starts happening, um, like the reason these work is because they catch people off guard. They don't give retail a chance to really get in long side unless you just you chase it for green candle. Then sure, you're eventually gonna get lucky. But in terms of like a clean pattern that retail can read, like unless you know a lot about Manip, you're not longing down here. You're not long, and that's why these moves happen. They happen because people don't expect them. But now when these moves happen, and you get the low volume pullback, now everyone's expecting the rotation, right? Everyone's expecting, oh, okay, let me wait for a pullback and support the hold, and let me wait for the trend line to break to the upside, and it's just like, and that's really how the game's played. So unsurprisingly, didn't work. And then we get a fade, some nice backs. Here's another video I made. If you didn't see this one, it's called "Here's Your Bullish Initiation. Here's Your Fake 1-Minute Flag." Again, retail sees this volume come in off of support, right? They see the next leg up. I shorted the next leg up. I shorted 631s. Instantly worked. Nice, easy fade. And then some more backside low float stuff. I'll save this for another video. I kind of want to go over what I learned about Bookmap and how you could read the structure. Maybe do a little, probably in the Discord, make a little Bookmap section that people can just see kind of how algos are moving the order book and the types of games that are played and that type of thing. But I did take one short here that I ended up partial covering and getting out the rest, and then I took another short after a tap 7. So this was great, but this is classic 1 million float stuff. The same counterintuitive stuff. You could trade it. You can make a lot of money short and long, but you kind of have to see the games, right? These games are repeated over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, made a couple videos. Massive soak into hidden sellers. Here's a clear out short trap, high day clear out, short trap it. Here another high day clear out, short trap it. Super counterintuitive, guys. So, believe it or not, like shorting this candle is better than shorting this candle. Even though I shorted this, you never know what games are going to be played. So sometimes I take the first pattern that really presents itself. But when the games start being played like this, then you have to bust out these patterns. You have to bust out these, you have to, again, you see the reclaim. Everyone thinks it's strong. You think it's weak. And you think it's weak because it should have went. It should have went right away, and it didn't go. Same with this. As soon as this doesn't go, you have to think it's weak. And like if your read is correct, it becomes so painless, man. It becomes like, look at this. Like you get this big initiation. You're short around 7. And you're just assuming it's not going to keep going. So if this keeps going, your risk can actually be like it doesn't have to be at $8. Your risk can be, 730s, and if it breaks to new levels, I come back later, right? It's I was going to make a video on my TPSC. By the way, on the Black Swan DPSC day, I was small red, honestly small red, and I made it all back yesterday and today. 10x, easily 10x, because I'm just shorting specific patterns with tight risk, usually around 3 to 5%. And some of them work right. Some of them work. I take a cover, it comes back out to my risk, ends up being around a break-even trade, and then sometimes, yeah, I take a 5% loss, and then I wait for a new setup, and if I don't get a new setup, then I don't trade it. You know, uh, TPSC, that's one of those stickers that there's a lot of wide risk short sellers out there, guys who just have wide risk, right? And wide risk works. Hey, but there's short sellers who make a lot of money with wide risk. They have like 50, 100% risk. And there's some guys, not a lot. Most people blow up their account, but there's some people out there, big risk, who make 7 figures a year shorting. I'm not joking. So there's a lot of ways to make money. That's just not the way I trade. And TPSC, those are the days where those guys take, the smart ones will have max daily losses, and they take a max daily loss, and they come back the next day. So I hope that was a good one. Interesting chart. Your classic 1 million float Manip. Sadly, didn't get the big unwind to like $4, but it'd be like that. So I'll try to make a TPSC video, show my executions and my charts and all that, because I know people like that. So, all right, have a good one, guys.